Sending your child abroad for college is probably one of the hardest things that you will do in your life. And I know because I just sent my two boys abroad to the US to study there for university. And as an expat parent, I can say that it is rife with challenges, but none of them that you cannot overcome. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 challenges that we face as a family in sending our kids abroad for college. If you're interested in this sort of stuff, stick around because I've got some solutions to those challenges. First off, let me say my name is Jamilia Grier. I'm a serial expat. I'm a mom of 4. I'm also a lawyer, and I live in Dubai. As you probably can tell from my accent, I'm from the US. I'm from Connecticut. And while I grew up there, my kids did not. My sons traveled the world with me all the way from ages 3 and 4 to their teenage years. And that's why I had to make this video to share with you guys what we experience and what you can anticipate experiencing as an expat parent. You know, raising kids abroad sounds fun. You're raising global citizens. You get to go on amazing trips with them, take them everywhere and show them the world. But at the end of that journey is college. And chances are they will not live in the same country as you. They will not go to college where you actually live. So what do you do? These are the challenges that we faced, and this is how we overcame them. The first is financial planning. This probably is the biggest challenge that parents have. The biggest question is, how do you afford this? It's not just the cost of college, it's the cost of flights to get them and you, because you're going to have to go with them to whatever country you're going to send them to that country to move in. What do you do for breaks? What do you do for holidays? It can really be a challenge. So as I mentioned, my sons are in the US, I'm in Dubai. It's an expense, right? So when you want to send your kids to college, you have to budget for those plane tickets. You will also have to budget for plane tickets for them to return home for Christmas or for whatever break it is. And if you don't, you need to have a plan. You need to have either a family member or some other place or even a program that they can be involved in so that they're not feeling alone on those breaks. Financial planning is a huge part of this because if you miss any of these sorts of considerations, then your child is the one who will suffer. And admittedly, I think for my oldest son, in his first year, I did not budget accordingly. I did not anticipate what he would do, for example, for Thanksgiving, tickets going back up to Connecticut to see the rest of the family and other things like that. So for financial planning, obviously the solution is budgeting. If you can't budget or if you're finding it difficult to save enough money, consider other programs the school may have. Maybe there's work study that your child can do. Maybe there are programs over the breaks that they can participate in where they can stay on campus. The biggest challenge with financial planning is making sure that their housing is covered during these breaks because it might not always be practical for them to come back home to you, whatever country it is that you live in. So financial planning, number 1 on the list, most important. And obviously it goes without saying that the cost of college is something that is a whole nother topic, a whole nother video. But for sure, the financial planning of the special considerations of having your child study abroad, certainly you have to think about how are they going to get home in the holidays? What are they going to do when everybody else is spending time with their family and maybe they can't spend time with you? Second is safety. This is probably just as important as financial planning. So for safety considerations, I've really struggled with this because as a mom, I certainly want to know where my boys are at probably all the time. I want to know that they're safe. I want to know who they're with, etc. But you have to balance that desire to be a helicopter parent with the fact that they are now turning into young adults and they're going to want to have space to grow, to learn, and to be their own person. One thing that we did to test this is that we used different apps. So there are a lot of apps out there in addition to your regular Find My Phone app on your iPhone. If your child's part of a family plan, you can certainly add them to your family plan and you can have them share their location. so you will know where they are. There are other apps that help you track your child. As a privacy lawyer, I can definitely tell you there are some pros and cons to that. These apps, the location and the data, I mean, it's not just shared with you, it's collected, it's available to law enforcement. I would say the biggest challenge for you is going to be balancing your desire to ensure their safety at all times, and then also the reality that they are becoming young adults and you do need to give them some breathing room. But there are some things that you can do. You can, if you have family in the country where your children are going to go to college, you can make sure that they are added onto the emergency list of contacts. Usually universities will ask for a contact person. So in addition to you being on the list, you'll also want to make sure that your family member who lives in that country is on the list as well. Second thing that you can do is you can simply ask them to check in. I know it sounds crazy, but kids will forget about you. They will. They're living a totally new life. It's full of new experiences. Set up regular calls, set up some kind of protocol so that you can feel comfortable in knowing that your child is safe. And just ask them to respect that. I think that that is basic. But you do have to remind your child, it's funny saying child, your teen, who's now going into university, that you care about their safety and ultimately you want to make sure that they're okay. The third challenge that we faced was this transition from IB to US university. This might not be applicable to everyone, but if your child is in one kind of educational system, whether it's UK/British curriculum or an IB system, going to a different system in the US, it's definitely going to be an adjustment. Luckily for my son, going from IB to the US university system was very easy. So far it's being, kind of smooth for him. I don't want to, mess up his chances, but it's been pretty good for him, to say the very least. But if your child is having English as a second language and you anticipate some kind of difficulty there, make sure you give some support, give emotional support, because they're going to have not just academic challenges, they're also going to have social challenges. And so the academic part, transitioning from one education system to another, is just one layer. They're going to need your cheerleading to make sure that they feel totally on board. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and maybe probably in the top one or two, is mental health and emotional well-being. This is a tough journey for you. It was for me, for sure. It still is for me. I'm not telling you guys I have all of the answers. I still do get a helicopter mom era going on every now and then I have to text and I have to call. But it's not just your emotional health and your emotional well-being, it's theirs as well. Making sure that your child feels okay in this new country, in a new school without you, is part of the role. And it's going to be tough because they don't always want to share everything with you. And there will be things that they don't share with you, and you have to be okay with that. I think for me, the hardest part was really stepping back and saying, okay, I'm just here if you need me, right? And that is tough. That's tough from a perspective of a mother, from the perspective of someone who cares about someone else, who loves someone else, to step back and say, hey, I'm just here for you if you need me. So definitely keep the emotional and mental well-being on the top of your mind, not just yours, but theirs as well. And then keep in mind that they may not always want to share things with you. So what can you do? Encourage your child to have a really good circle of friends. This might be easier said than done, but your child is going to need a strong friend circle. There's not really much you can do to cultivate that, but to encourage them to go out, encourage them to join clubs or join sports and just be active, and do not stay alone in the dorm room. Sometimes kids don't have a roommate in the first year, and so it's really important that they get out and they make friends. Encourage your child to, go back to roots. No matter what religion or spirituality you come from, I think that can be helpful for them if they're going to meditate or pray or whatever it is, but just to kind of center back to mindfulness, we found that that was really helpful. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have kids that are going to college? Are you living in another country or planning to move to another country? Drop me some comments below. Let me know what your status is. I'll see if I can help out and share what I've learned. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Take care, guys.